My name is Beatrice, and this presentation is about identifying and understanding consumers. It is very important for retailers to understand what type of consumers they are dealing with and what they can do to satisfy each of their consumers' needs and desires. And also, retailers need to know how to communicate with their consumers, for there are many that use social media to help them choose what, where, and when to shop. Retailers can use demographics such as these to help them better understand their consumers. Demographics are used to identify a group of consumers or individual consumers by population, gender, age, growth rate, language spoken, household size, education, retail sales, family status, income, place of residence, occupation, and ethnic racial background. Using these will help retailers know what direction and ideas they need to do for their consumers. Consumer lifestyles are based on social and psychological factors and are influenced by demographics. These questions help a retailer develop a lifestyle profile of its target market. It helps them figure out how the consumers feel about their stores, services, goods, retailers themselves, how they react, and how they shop. These questions tie in and answer questions of social factors as well. These are 4 different perspectives of lifestyle factors. Gender roles is dealing with the roles of men and women and how they have came along from such a time as the 60th century to today's time. Many women now work 60 to 70 hours between their job and home responsibilities as due to the responsibility in earlier times. Men now take on women's roles too, as opposed to them just working. They now help around the house, take care of children, grocery shop, and such as. Consumer sophistication and confidence is the perspectives of how more sophisticated and aware shoppers are. They now know more about the hottest trends, which goods and services are better, and about their own taste and what they like. Property of time is how shoppers look at how much time they have and set it on a limit because of hours at work and daily life responsibilities. Shoppers are always looking for a time-efficient, time-conscious way to shop. Component lifestyle is a wondering of why and how consumers shop nowadays, because today consumers are now such independent shoppers. For example, why is someone willing to pay $2.50 for Starbucks coffee but think $1.29 for a cheeseburger is too much? A need is a person's basic shopping requirements, such as toilet paper. A desire is what a person wants to shop for, but chooses what they can afford or either save up to purchase them in the future, such as you want an iPod but purchase an MP3 player. These 4 categories of shopping attitudes and behavior are what retailers put a lot of focus on. For shopping enjoyment, retailers must find out what triggers a pleasurable or miserable shopping experience. For attitudes towards shopping time, they look at store location, parking, and how many salespeople they have on duty for shopping time. For many customers are usually on a limited time. For shifting feelings about retailing, specialty retailers must constantly try to find ways to differ themselves from competitors. For shoppers can shop at one place for one thing and go to another store for another thing. And whether or not people buy something or don't is based on many reasons. For shoppers can't afford it, no sales help, can't find an appealing style, no good value, no size fits, and store is messy. The consumer's decision process must be grasped from 2 different perspectives. The first perspective is what good or service the consumer is thinking about buying, and the second perspective is where the consumer is going to buy the item. This process also has 2 parts to it, the process itself and the factors affecting the process, which there are 6 steps to the process. This is just showing you the visual form of seeing the consumer decision process. Extended decision making occurs when the consumer makes full use of the decision process. Limited decision making is when a consumer uses each step in the purchase process, but does not spend a great deal of time on each of them. Routine decision making takes place when the consumer buys out of habit and skip steps in the purchase process. Impulse purchases and customer loyalty merit retailers' special attention. Impulse purchases has three kinds of impulse shopping: completely unplanned, partially unplanned, and unplanned substitution. Customer loyalty is placed into four categories from worst to best. First is inherited loyalty. Second, mercenary loyalty. 3, true loyalty. And last, cult loyalty. In mass marketing, a firm such as a supermarket or drugstore sells to a broad spectrum of consumers. In concentrated marketing, a retailer tailors its strategy to the needs of one distinct consumer group, such as a young working woman. With differentiated marketing, a retailer aims at two or more distinct consumer groups, such as men and boys, with a different strategy mix for each. And after a retailer acknowledges what action they are pursuing, they now have to choose a target market method. These are several of the environmental factors that influence shopping attitudes and behaviors, and although not all these necessarily have an impact, they do influence the retailer's overall target market. The reason why I chose this chapter is because it is the one that standed out the most to me. The chapter was about identifying and understanding consumers. And being a consumer myself helped me realize and learn all the different processes retailers go through to satisfy their consumers, which educated me on what I need to do for my own personal consumers of being a business manager in the future.